What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is EDC Decker. Today we're going to be taking a look at this 1968 silverface Fender vibro champ. It's completely original except for the Celestial speaker that I put in it after I bought it. So I bought this amp at an estate sale a couple months back. The speaker in it was roached out and it had a broken tube. I fixed the tube, and then that's when I found that the speaker was pretty roached. I'm going to get the speaker rebuilt, but for the time being I wanted to play it a little bit and check it out. So I put a Celestial in it, and immediately it sounds awesome, but it's also a little bit more full and bassy than I was after. I would like the clean, twangy highs of the Silverface amp era. So we're going to put on some Buck Owens here and do a quick little speaker swap. The speaker on the left is the original. The speaker on the right is a Jensen replacement from StewMac. That was the closest thing that I could find to the original for now. And the speaker's being rebuilt, like I said, so nobody freak out at me. I'm going to have it reconed, and anything wrong with it, have it fixed. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to loosen these 4 screws on the top with the metal plates, pull the bolts out. The chassis will slide out backwards, and then you will take the 4 speaker bolts off, or speaker nuts. Be careful when you're doing this, because I actually poked a hole in the Celestial putting it in there whenever I was working on it, because I tried to do this without sliding the chassis out. I think that's why I did it. It was a little too tight to work with. And then I'm going to desolder here, because the factory speaker was soldered. The wires were soldered to it, so we're going to desolder them and then resolder the wires to the Jensen speaker. This amp's got a pretty interesting story I'm going to talk about here, and while we're watching this and watching the process. And when you put this thing back in, you got to be careful again so you don't poke any holes in it. You don't want to cause any headache for yourself, unnecessary headache for yourself. Take a look at the amp right here and all its insides right now. This is a completely original, untouched, unmolested. The death cap's still in there. It still had all the original tubes in it except for one, I think. And if not, they were 70s replacement tubes maybe, but pretty close to the originals, I think. But this amp's got a pretty interesting story. I bought this amp for $285 at an estate sale, and I bought its companion. It's the 1967 Fender Duosonic for $130 that I've already got a video on. I'm trying to get better at this videos and the storytelling in the videos, because I think that the stories of these instruments are as interesting as the instruments themselves. I did a lot of tracing on the history of this amp and guitar, where it was bought. It was bought at the local music store that was around back in the 60s and 70s in my local town. The family lived in the same house from when the time that their children were small until they were adults, and then passed away. So I think that stuff's interesting to me. That's what I think is cool, but it's as cool as the instruments. The instruments are definitely cool themselves. So putting it all back together here, just going to do everything in reverse. It's a pretty simple process, but I do want to emphasize that you need to keep your hands out of the chassis of the amp, because those capacitors can still hold enough power to kill you after they've been unplugged for a while. So just keep your hands out of the chassis. Swapping the speaker, you can do it safely and not have any problems. So here's going to be some audio clips. Look past my guitar playing. I've only been playing about a year and a half. So don't be too hard on me. I'm not that good, but I do love these instruments, and I do love playing guitar. And I appreciate you guys watching this. And if you got any topic or video requests,
Okay, so we got a speaker in
hit
there.
me up.
I don't have an audio clip of the Celestial. I don't think. If I do, I'll try to pull it up and add it in here too. But I think this will be closer either way. Just want to do a little sound check. I always preface these with I've only been playing guitar for a year and a half, so please just forgive me in my lack of playing. I kind of lucked my way into these cool stuff that I've got. I bought this, but I bought that too. I just got a really good deal on it. So just gonna do a quick little playthrough. I know I'm not supposed to be playing it until I get all that stuff done to it, but it's gonna be very short. Let's get it done. I think that's good enough. Um, I think it sounds great. It's not as punchy. It's not as Marshall sounding, which is what the problem with Celestion was. So I think the goal was accomplished. And of course, I will be sending the original speaker to be reconed and rebuilt, and it will be back in this amp in no time. This was just a temporary thing, because I suspect that the recap and all that work will be done before the speaker is done being rebuilt. So I appreciate y'all watching. Hopefully this helps somebody out, and we'll see y'all next time.